What's up, you nerds? Welcome back to Yellow Spandex. Real quick before I start, though, I want to say welcome to all you new listeners. And for those of you who are listening that are brand new, please leave a comment, follow along. We got a lot of podcasts now. This is like our almost over 50, or maybe this week we talk about Harry Potter as we eat pizza, stuff our faces, and drink soda. Ghostbusters sequel, there's a little bit of news in there. The Black Widow trailer, we watched that. Mandalorian, of course.
And the fact that John Bodega accidentally left his Rise of Skywalker script under his bed.
Yeah, new Star Wars script sold on eBay. And the new E.T. short film, Ultraman, coming to Marvel. What? A bunch of different nerd stuff, and answering some comments right at the end there on this episode of Yellow Spandex.
That actually reminds me, when the second Harry Potter movie came out, I think Josh probably doesn't remember this specific thing, because I don't know if we knew each other yet, but you remember my college girlfriend, and she was super conservative, and that wasn't a problem at the time, at least, and our whole floor, our group of friends was going to see the second Harry Potter movie, and her family was so conservative, she was like, I heard I can't see that because it has to deal with satanic stuff or whatever. I was like, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, but sure. Yeah, I guess I guess witchcraft, technically.
I remember that they had websites. I don't know, they probably still do. That was like, does this movie a Christian movie or whatever? And it's like, it's really fun and great for kids, but it has satanic messages, so no.
VeggieTales?
Exactly,
like talking vegetables. Is that not witchcraft either?
VeggieTales, is that what it was?
But the same people would be like, "Oh, Star Wars is a great movie." Like my dad, I'd be like, or even Lord of the Rings. Sometimes I'd be like, it was written by Tolkien, which was a Christian, so it was good. Or
Gandalf, right?
C.S. Lewis, magic in that movie, that's fine, but it's just funny. No, sorry, busting into your.
So we went to go see it, and she was like, "Okay, well, she was like, I'm trying to be more open minded in college and stuff, so I just don't want anything to be scary." And I was like, "Oh, I saw the first Harry Potter movie. It's a kids movie. It is magic. It's fun. Blah blah blah." And then we go see it, and then it was it definitely. I don't know if it was the most violent of the Harry Potter movies. It was definitely much more violent than the first one. And then I think it ended with the bird pecking out the giant serpent's eyes and stuff. And, and the whole time she's just crying and right. And then and it wasn't a romantic ooh, I'm scared. It was just why did you take me to this?
It's so weird though, because that movie is not scary either.
I mean, going from me reassuring, no, it's a kids movie, to people die. Somebody actually died in this one. The funny thing is, I remember it because I only saw the first two Harry Potter movies, and then the very last, the second of the last ones and stuff. So I only have those three kind of in memory, and I just remember that one just feeling so bad. I'm I just got done reassuring. It took a long time, because I was yeah, no, it's fine. I've seen Harry Potter. I saw the first one. If this is anything like the first one, then it's no violence. The most physical thing that happens is they play Quidditch, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know if they play Quidditch in the second movie, but if they did, she didn't know because she was crying. And I was
big snake.
Well, yeah, because it was I was describing this fun romp, and then she got one of the most violent conjuring dead people, all all this stuff. I was like, okay. Also, that was the last movie she allowed me to take her to.
What was Tom Riddle was the third one then?
No, I think that was the second one.
That was
I think the second one. Naomi, the one with the serpent. Which one's that one?
Yeah, Chamber of Secrets. That's right.
Because there's also when the back of his head had Voldemort in it, right? Yeah, and everything was a horror moment. Yeah, the reveal, the guy takes his headpiece off, and then there's a face, and he's like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yes, sorry, I don't know, I can't even make any excuses anymore." Didn't pre-screen this.
I loved all those movies. I thought they were all fun.
They were fun. I feel like it could have been a little bit more serious. And the second and last one was the most boring movie of all of them. It had nothing really happened in it besides them running in the forest. Yeah. I don't know if they were trying to be artistic or whatever. They had to cut that last book up into two. So
yeah,
I guess they were I guess the first half is pretty boring. We'll just have to make this movie boring for the
part
first
one
half.
and part two. Yeah, it's just all this dragged out thing. Part one. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting that they ended up deciding to do that.
Well, it's all those long franchise movies, right? Hunger Games did the same thing.
Well, it also is two movies releasing instead of one. So they're kind of double dipping on the one book.
Oh yeah, totally. Because that was right around the time. Well, not right around like a few years after, like when The Matrix did 2 sequels in the same year. You know, they shot it back to back. I think Lord of the Rings were shooting like consecutive sequels at once or something.
Yeah, they shot everything at once. Yeah.
Which makes sense. You know, like you're gonna have everybody there anyway. Like, why take a year break between things? You know, I don't know why this reminded me of it, but so I know we've been raving about Toys That Made Us, which you should definitely watch with the kids. Because I think they'll recognize some of the stuff because of you, but then also it's definitely like edited in a way that's just like fun to watch anyway, even if you don't know the properties. Like I think I talked about the first season where like I didn't know virtually anything about Hello Kitty besides mainstream stuff.
Yeah,
it was still very interesting to watch. So they just expanded the series into a sister series. Yeah, the movies that made us. We just finished it. It's phenomenal.
Is it good?
Like
Really good.
So the best part is we started. So Toys That Made Us, you kind of should do it in order because they kind of piggyback off each other. Movies That Made Us, there's a little bit of people in between, but we watched it out of order, and I don't think there was any like strange continuity there. But we started with Ghostbusters, and I think on this podcast, I can't remember when it was. I'd mentioned like I wonder if when Dan Aykroyd wrote Ghostbusters, he wrote it as a serious thing. And then it was like one of those Tommy Wiseau moments where like it turned into it like it was a comedy. He just didn't know it, you know? Totally. Like minor spoiler about the
So weird.
Ghostbusters Toys That Made Us. It opens up with Dan Aykroyd. He's like, yeah, my family business goes back to spirit reading or spirit
1888.
Yeah, he was talking about the 3 women that started like fortune telling or whatever. And
Or 1818 or something.
And it was funny because the sisters he talks about, I'm pretty sure the ones that on their deathbed like revealed that they had been like scamming everyone their entire lives.
Yeah.
But anyway, he still referenced them, and he's like, my family goes back to these days where we're spirit conjuring, blah, blah, blah. And he wrote this story about like outer space, like ghost hunters.
Yeah.
I think he's called a Ghost Breakers was the original title. And whoever ended up getting the movie, I can't remember, some big wig, was like, so you don't know this is a comedy. So he like rewrote it. and he was like, this is a going into business story. And it cuts back to Dan. He's like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, where am I going to get the money to make a movie like this? And they changed it to New York and everything, but they ended up filming it in Burbank. Like it was interesting. But like the whole time, Dan's like, yeah, you guys don't know about this? And then it comes back to like, he's hilarious. And he's like, I'm serious. Like,
He was on Rogan the one time.
yeah,
He can tell stories for days.
Yeah, well, it was the stories just started. For one, it started off with his stupid vodka.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't stop. And then it went like halfway through, which is like a 3-hour episode. And like he starts talking about, you know, oh, well, my family, this or that. And I'm like what we were talking about, that is he serious? Were all these movies he's in serious? Like, did you ever see Sneakers?
wait. I don't remember.
It's a great movie,
anything
by
about
the way. Sneakers is an awesome movie. It's like one of those like, you know, heist movies. And Robert Redford's in it.
Nice.
Bunch of people are in it, but Aykroyd's in it, and he's the crazy conspiracy theory guy. Everything that he believes in that movie, he believes in real life, which is hilarious. And so it's like, man, all these characters that he, you know, were playing, which are crazy characters, is somewhat more like real to him.
There's this hilarious cutaway they did with the designer of the creatures in Ghostbusters, and so I didn't know this. I guess it was originally supposed to be a buddy film with Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi because they were like hot off the heels of Blues Brothers and SNL and all that stuff. And then Eddie Murphy was going to be a third Ghostbuster because he was like the big name that was going to sell it.
That's funny.
And I guess they got somebody else. I think it was Bill Murray or something like that. So they wouldn't be able to afford Eddie Murphy and Bill. It's weird. Bill Murray took Eddie Murphy's role, and then they ended up writing in. I can't remember the fourth guy's name.
Winston.
Yeah, Winston.
the
I can't
actor name.
remember his name.
They,
his real name.
they wrote in his role because towards the end the studio had said something like, we need a character that is the audience, you know, like seeing everything. So it was funny how like all kind of turned out that way. But so since obviously like in the production of it, process of it, John Belushi passed away of OD.
Yep.
And so they, you know, the casting was one thing, but it's like, so they're talking to the designer of the creatures, and they were like, okay, so we need, the night before they went to go do the shot with Slimer, they were like, Slimer needs to look like John Belushi, and the designer's like,
What?
I've been working how many weeks and months on this, and you can't tell me the night before. And because they were like, we want him to be there in spirit, and they want Slimer to look like John Belushi, and he was like, how do we make it look like anybody? He's a smile on slime,
Yeah.
you know, and he said he thought about it for a while, and then he showed up to set the next day and was like, and didn't change anything. It was like, And everybody's like, that looks exactly like John. He's like, yeah.
That was nothing like John Belushi.
He was, as long as they were like, yeah, that's cool. And then no one, he didn't do anything with it.
I
So
didn't change anything. And then I told him I changed it.
That sounds like mixing though, because I do record, like I record music and I mix it. Somebody will be like, "Oh, it doesn't sound right. Can you do this or this or this?" And like one of these famous mixers that I know, I'm not gonna say his name. He told me like, yeah, every once in a while when they just are being a pain in the butt, I resend the same mix that I sent last time, and they're like, "That's great. You did. It sounds perfect."
I can't say that I've not done that. But also, like, I remember first semester of school. I don't think you were at college yet because Josh had transferred in. But we were at sound reinforcement. I think the first or second thing they taught us was like, when the guitarist is complaining about the mix, and he's like, see, it was Dan Wolf. I remember he showed me how to do this. Like he put his fingers around the knob and turned it so it looked like the knob was turning, but he was just pushing his fingers against the area around the knob on the board. And he's like thumbs up, like shaking his head at the guitar. He's like, oh yeah, much better. He's like, cool.
Yep.
Like,
oh, sound stuff.
my go-to usually is like if I'm like looking at meters and I know I'm like fair. I obviously can't be 100% objective, but if I'm like as objective as it can be is right, I'm like, okay, test A or B, and I'll just mix up which one's the one they wanted, which one's the way like it kind of should be and stuff. And if they can't tell me the difference, they don't win.
Yeah,
you know, like
which sucks because people are generally annoying. But yeah, if you can get them into that, okay, do you want this louder or quieter? Tell me now, because like sometimes I'll just get to be, I don't know, I need something to be more green or more red. Like no, f that. Like, does this sound good now, or does it need to change? And like just people being stupid.
Well, I mean more of like if somebody wants like a bass guitar higher, like volume or whatever. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'll turn it up. Now you tell me which one it's up in.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly. Like, how about you tell me the difference? Sometimes I'd feel like they'd be kind of upset about that if you were like, hey, now you tell me what you think.
Yeah, I'm not a good psychiatrist, but that's just like the only way I'm like, okay, this is the way to win this, because if you can't tell the difference,
then you can't tell the difference, I win.
Then it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just gonna pick one. You know.
Good thing you're not a mixer, because you'd probably lose jobs that way.
Oh yeah, totally. Like it's weird because like when I like would hire somebody mixing or whatever, like there's general things, you know, like I feel like this is a guitar prominent song or something like that.
Yeah.
But like it's like when I hire anybody as like a plumber or anything, like I don't want to tell you how to, I would just do it myself.
Exactly.
You know,
if I
like,
knew how to do it, I'd do it myself.
So like I send stuff to, like we use this mastering engineer for my 2 solo albums. I think I don't even know if I actually had notes for it. I was like, sounds good, and then I sent it off to like the pressing place, especially the vinyl, like, you guys say it's good? They're like, everything's up to spec. Cool. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Like, it's the reason I'm just paying you like $2,000 a song to like master this thing. Like, not for me to tell you what to do, you know?
It should come back perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
First
that
time.
much money.
Oh, the Ghostbusters movie might be called Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Nice.
And it's supposed to be the third movie?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
I'm
only
like,
two
wait a
so
minute,
far.
there wasn't a third one?
Yeah, there's only
there wasn't
two.
a third one.
And they got everybody back.
That's still
that
alive.
they could.
I don't think they get Moranis.
Oh,
no.
yeah. Well, yeah, because wasn't that a rumor? He may or may not come back. Whatever.
Yeah. And he's been saying over the years, it's really funny because somebody caught him on like a podcast probably 2 or 3 years ago, because he had done like a funny Jewish Christmas songs or Jewish like seasonal songs or Hanukkah songs. There we go, Christmas songs. Like he did like funny Jewish Hanukkah songs and on a CD and was going around like doing press for it for some weird reason.
Interesting.
And some guy just got him on like, hey, how about I ask you about this? You choosing not being an actor anymore. And he's like, all right, sure, we'll go into it. And so it was really great to like hear all the stuff from him. Whatnot. He had said, I think, maybe not in that interview, but in an interview shortly following, that he'd be interested in doing more acting now that his kids are older. Because the whole thing was like his
wife passed away.
His
right?
wife passed away like in the middle of like a bunch of movies that he was contractually obligated to do. And so he just wanted to be with his kids.
Yeah.
Like he's like, man, I've already had spent so much time away from them. And
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
that was one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So he'd just stopped doing stuff.
That's something really kind of tough for me because I don't have kids that I know of yet, and like, I want to be present because that was one of the things. Like my parents are immigrants or were immigrants, and they had to like work all the time. I know that's not exclusive to immigrants, but like it was like definitely applicable to us because like they didn't speak the language and we're working 24 hours a day, so I just wasn't around. So I don't know. Like I see. it's hard enough for me to be away from my niece. So I'm like, if I had my own kids, like I want to be around as much as possible. So I don't want to be completely autonomous, but I want my life to be in such a place where I'm not forced to like spend like extended periods like away, you know. Ideally, I know, life happens. Who knows what's going to happen that way, but whatever piece I can, like influence, that's what I want to kind of do. So it's respectable. He made a bunch of movies that he's making residuals off of, can live comfortably, then like more power,
That's the dream.
He's got the money. If I had the money too, because I think I can't remember what article I was reading. They were basically like, there's a certain amount of money that people get to. Generally, the people are like, okay, I'm fine now.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't really care about getting a raise or getting a new house or getting this or that. I'm comfortable. So like, I feel fine. Los Angeles, you'll never hit that. But
well, if you hit one of these like perfect like passive income things, because part of the movies that made us, we were watching Dirty Dancing was actually the first episode. I didn't know this. It's not the woman's life story, but it's based on a real woman who's called Baby. And I guess she got, I forget how many points off the royalties off the movie.
On the back end there.
But she said she makes a minimum of $1 million a year just from royalties.
That's crazy.
It has for the last 10 years.
35 years.
Or whatever. Yeah.
I think she said on camera, she was like, I don't give a flying about the money. And then it cuts to like one of the producers like, I bet it doesn't hurt to make over $1 million a year without doing anything else though. And it was like, this is true. She can be as artsy as fartsy as she wants,
Yeah.
Like,
it's like Clint Eastwood or anybody else that does it now for the art, So.
Yeah, that's a dream. Yeah, and also she wrote a book. I mean, so she did do work, whatever amount of work it took to write the memoir kind of thing. I forget what it was called. It wasn't Dirty Dancing, but it was about like kids sneaking off to like dance in underground clubs and stuff. And I don't know. It's like, ooh, that's the dream. Have that or write All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah, seriously, you get a hit. Well, even though after the whole 2000s or whatever, that you probably would not get anywhere near as much money as what you would have gotten in the 90s.
Oh yeah. But even like
90s, because just for everybody else that knows, like when the whole Napster thing went down, people stopped buying CDs, like eventually, or they stopped buying music in general. And
Japan
now we're
didn't.
just now starting to like. Well, Japan's not. You're not going to fund it with whatever you're selling in Japan generally.
But I think that's the thing, though, is like it's being licensed to so much stuff. I think the last 3 or 4 years in a row, Mariah Carey has had a different Christmas special based around that song.
Yeah.
So there's some sort of like
Japan.
buyout.
Nowadays, like now that we got streaming and there's so many new TV shows and movies and things, that with Netflix and everything else coming out, there's so much stuff coming out. We can't keep up with it. There's so much stuff coming out that now, syncing probably does make a lot more money.
Hashtag Disney Plus.
Seriously, gosh dang.
That's,
I'm feeling the gluten, y'all.
Sorry, we got pizza, guys.
so this is cool. Like, is there still a time frame for Ghostbusters?
Well, it says Ghostbusters. It was called Ghostbusters 2020.
Is there
wait.
something strange?
Is it coming out in 2020 not anymore?
In the
The
neighborhood?
trailer reportedly clocks at 2 minutes, and will premiere with Jumanji.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're filming.
Yeah, they've already started filming a while ago. In fact,
wow.
I'm pretty positive they're done filming.
Okay.
But
Who you gonna
was
call?
it you that posted the other day saying like there's a certain dude that knew like was hardly ever wrong about when trailers are gonna drop?
I didn't post that, but I've heard about somebody.
I saw a picture of this dude saying like this Black Widow is gonna drop on this day, and it did.
Yeah,
Like,
it was one of those
crazy.
rare circumstances where I think it posted at 1 a.m. here in California.
Yeah.
And I was up and I was like, I never see I never see real time notifications for trailers. And I happened to be subscribed to Marvel and I was like, Black Widow trailer, what? I'm like, no, it was another animated. Oh my god, this is the movie.
Yeah.
It's like I watched it in the first 20 minutes it was out. This never happened to me before. It looks kind of tropey, but I'm still so stupidly excited.
It's funny because it looked like it's a billion like movies mashed into one. Like it looks like The Bourne Identity and Mission Impossible, and like somebody even made a meme of like putting all these movies together, and I was like, well, that makes sense, but that doesn't make me less like it anymore. In fact, I think I probably do like it now. It's like a Bond movie /
I will say, like, I think this is
Scarlett Johansson.
This is one of the examples of like when people say like, well, it benefits from being part of a greater universe. Because I think if it wasn't part of the MCU and I just saw that trailer and it didn't know it was Black Widow, I would probably make fun of some of the tropes that happen in the trailer. You know, they're like, so good to see you. sis, and then it's like, sometimes family's not what you think. I forget what the monologue was, but it was something like, okay, they didn't think too hard about that. Sure.
What's really funny is like the beginning monologue of her going like, this is my family now. It really reminds me of that video game that just came out. When Black Widow's narrating the video game, saying like, I found my family. Like, this is weird. Is this part of the video game? Like,
Interesting.
Funny.
Yeah.
I do like how David Harbour's character, they gave him the yellow spandex figuratively.
Yes, I was totally gonna say that.
But who is all that?
But B, they Red Commando?
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. Okay. Yeah. But they gave him the figurative yellow spandex, literally red spandex, but they did it by just like kind of joking about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, it still fits. And then they're
you
like,
gained weight.
You got fat.
Exactly. It's so great though. Like Red Guardian, basically like Captain America from Russia. Cap fought with him in World War II. There's been a few different ones of them, obviously, because I don't think they last as many years as like say Cap would, because I think Cap has, since the super soldier serum actually slows down the aging process a bit.
Okay, so their version doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Who were the other ones?
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
Because they all had like.
Well, it was like I assumed it was like
suits.
a sister and like a mom or something. Like it was the family.
Were they all?
Well, there's Taskmaster. He's the bad guy, which was really weird because this clip that he's in, that you see him, it's weird. His outfit doesn't look like the clip, the pictures that I've seen from like Comic-Con and other things that they show. The picture looked like more like his actual outfit. Let me see if I can.
They just CG'd the whole thing again, like they did with Captain Marvel.
Well, I don't know. Like maybe like his. Well, people were saying maybe his outfit corresponds to whoever he's fighting, because his whole thing is like he can learn your moves or what you'd use and use it against you. So he's basically like the best mimic kind of like on Earth. So like whether you're good at like one kind of fighting, drunken boxing, doesn't really matter. Like
he can match you.
He just basically matches you. And the whole thing was like he had the arrows at the one point in time. So like, okay, maybe he's fighting against.
Then he becomes
Hawkeye
a task matcher.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of him from.
And he actually made a convincing,
to
me, Russian accent.
Here. So there you go. That's a picture there of like what he's supposed to look like.
So is Taskmaster and Red Guardian the same person?
No. Well,
are they becoming that this movie?
I don't know. Because the person that's supposed to be playing Taskmaster, they haven't said who it is.
Oh, I thought that was David Harbour. Gotcha.
And what I'm kind of worried about is it'll be like one of the sisters and the mother. And I'm like, no, please don't do that.
One of the sisters and a mother.
Don't be like Iron Man 3. Like, we're going to subvert expectations. Like, no, just go straight forward. It's fine.
I don't know enough about him to know like what the vibe is.
Yeah. And so.
Let's see Red Ranger.
Red Ranger, what?
Red Guardian.
Oh. He looks like him except for he has a beard.
Because he didn't have a beard before?
Yeah. Or if he did, it's not very large. It fits underneath the mask.
Oh, I see. It's like a goatee kind of.
Or in the comics, he didn't have one. So.
Oh, that's funny because he looks like the Flash or Daredevil or something.
A little bit in that one. Later, he actually has a shield. So like, he pretty much is like the Russian version of Captain America. Like straight up, 100%.
So, yeah, because there's like a Canadian version of him too.
So
Captain
Canuck. But I like David Harbour playing him. That's kind of funny that he's like, I got older, I got fat or something.
And then there's a Captain Britain too. Remember?
Yeah.
And the
they
Canadian
look similar
squad,
too. Yeah, they have the
or another British Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah. Captain Britain. You're right.
Yeah. Captain Canuck. Captain Maple Leaf.
So yeah, he looks.
Yeah, there's the old Canuck.
Yeah. He looks like the other dude that was on Alpha Squad, or Alpha Flight.
He looks like the Tick.
Not Infiltrator. What's the guy's name?
I can't remember his name.
The main guy.
Trifold.
Incubator. I can't remember his name. But he looks a little bit like that guy.
Crumb Cake.
Anyway, I'm excited for this movie.
Black Widow.
It feels a bit different from the other Marvel movies. In fact, I think one of the movies they smashed together with was like Winter Soldier, because it has more of that kind of grounded feel.
I kind of wonder if it's going to do as well.
I don't know. It's a Marvel movie, and we only have 2 this year.
Yeah, we only have 2. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I hope that this, they put out basically a spy film.
Yeah.
And then it just kills and they prove like we can do any genre.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
It's
but
we're just Marvel. Everybody comes anyway.
Yeah. But I just wonder because it seems like a smaller scale of a movie. Relatively. Like just because it's huge in like that Jason Bourne feeling, but like I think like so the thing about Endgame Infinity War is like people who didn't watch the rest of the MCU still went to see those movies, you know, because they were like, oh, this big event, and you go to see it, it's in outer space, it's huge. I don't know how many like outsiders would necessarily go, you know what I mean, to see Black Widow. I guess it depends on how.
Like since she's one of the OG Avengers, it's gonna do really well. I feel like it'll probably pull in like what maybe Captain Marvel pulled in.
I mean, that'd be great. It's just that I guess there wasn't like a sci-fi aspect that was overt in the previews yet, so I don't know like how that plays.
There also isn't a huge build-up either.
Or it might be, or it might be way better because people are like, oh, like this is not like a superhero movie.
Maybe there is a build-up though that we don't know about.
They just see it as a spy movie or something, and that helps.
Yeah,
sorry, my kids.
And that helps, for to be like a spy film, like another like a. I hate saying this term, like a female Jason Bourne, like
when she drops down,
Mission Impossible to be like because when she's jumping out of that plane, it looks really different.
She looks like freaking Cobra Kai. What is his name? The white ninja, Storm Shadow.
Cobra Kai. Oh, I was like Karate Kid,
G.I. Joe,
Cobra Commander. I mean, not Cobra Kai.
It's crazy because I think in one of the movies she's like. Maybe she's talking to Iron Man or whatever. She's like, we can't all fly or something. The rest, but like she jumps out of this thing and she's just like head down, like flying practically. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Pretty cool.
I like one of our favorite things to watch is not honest trailers, pitch meetings.
Oh yes.
Screen Rant. Mm-hmm. I think it was for one of the Iron Man movies, maybe the second one, that he was like, oh cool, he can make a bunch of Iron Man suits, so everybody gets one, right? Or like, no, just him. He's like, why don't the rest of us get these? Like, we're just out there. Like, sure, he's the god of thunder, but like, I shoot arrows and she can do backflips. Like, we should have these suits. Like, like how like
Iron Man's like, this isn't a Gundam movie.
But Pepper Potts gets one. What's going on here?
Jeez, what the?
It's like, and then he just blows them all up at the end. We're like, well, F you too.
Yeah,
like the Saturday Night Live thing where like. I think it's from like the first movie, Hawkeye. They had like everybody in it, and Hawkeye's like, "All right, I'm done." Like, what do you mean you're done? It's like, well, I had like 20 arrows, so I killed 20 aliens. So you're welcome. I'm done.
Peace.
And I'm like, why don't you go get the arrows after you shoot them? Like, that takes too much time.
I do like that Hawkeye, like in Age of Ultron, I think, is like self-aware. Mm-hmm. He's like, because was it Scarlet Witch he was with?
Yeah.
She was like, this is crazy. He's like, the thing's flying. There's aliens. I got arrows out here. Nothing makes sense. Like
nothing makes sense.
What is this Screen Rant as well, or is this other?
No, that was in the movie.
No, it was in the movie.
Hawkeye said that. Like,
he had like pulled her into a room because he had to like save her at one point in time. He's like, you stay here, you stay safe. You come out there, you're an Avenger. It's like, but he's like, right, we're flying. There's robots everywhere.
I
shoot arrows.
He's like, I've got arrows. Nothing makes sense. Like he actually says that in the movie. Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's
so funny.
I like the self-awareness.
It's a little bit of Joss Whedon, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because it's like at that point, it's so ridiculous. Mm-hmm. You can't not acknowledge it. Like the
floating city in the sky.
They're fighting like a homicidal like robot that's infiltrated all of the internet. Like it's what yeah, it was funny.
It's a pretty dope movie though.
Yeah, I like Age of Ultron. I feel like people give it a bad rep.
I mean,
I do wish Ultron was a bigger threat.
Yeah, I wish he was more evil.
He felt more ominous.
Yeah, he feels more comedic.
Yeah, and I think if they really wanted to make it like I feel like Winter Soldier is just kind of like, even if you don't watch MCU movies, feel like that is top-notch filmmaking.
That's my favorite. Even like, again, Endgame and whatnot, even though Endgame's like, amazing, just, Avengers porn.
Yeah.
It's the best movie, in my opinion, is still Winter Soldier.
So, like, I think to have reached that level, they needed to have, like, writers really, like, focus on, like, the implications of an AI infiltrating all of the web and stuff, because, like, there were too many MacGuffins.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't he be able to control that? Like, he would have been able, because I think it was in how it should have ended. They did, like, oh, what did you do? It's like, I took down every plane and, like, vehicle in the world because I can do that. Like, stuff like that. It's like, okay, he didn't do that. He just kind of, like, went down, like.
Yeah.
But Have you been keeping up with the Mandalorian?
Yes,
Did you see the last episode?
I did.
So I didn't notice this till afterwards because I saw an article about it, and I went back to watch myself to make sure it was there. But like a boom mic drops into the shot.
I did not notice. When was that?
16 minutes and 30 odd seconds.
You can see it.
So I think the reason most people didn't notice it is because it was during a really deep conversation between that widow and the Mandalorian. And in between them, the boom mic drops into frame, but in a dark spot.
Crap.
And it's like, they're going to paint that out like Games of Thrones it, because
Let's
that's
watch it.
the beauty of streaming, right?
Yeah.
Is this it?
It's
Hans.
It is. Hold on. I'm gonna watch it real quick. Where's it at? And okay, we got little. Where's this dumb boom mic? Oh, so it's in a dark scene.
It's in a dark scene, but it's in between the two, and the Mandalorian's on the left, and she's on the right, and it's a little bit closer to her.
Mm-hmm.
Not there.
I will put the link to this in the show notes if you want to see it for yourself.
I'm at a weird angle.
I
so
didn't
can't
even
it.
see it. Where's it at? I don't see this mic.
Did I see it pass her head?
I'm at a weird angle. I can't see anything.
I still can't see it. Oh well.
It might be easier to look for a still.
Yeah.
That's for one. I wonder if that was just embarrassing for.
Okay, here's a still shot. What the? No, I wanted the picture, you big morons. Well, I'm the moron for not clicking on the picture, I suppose. There it is. Where do you guys see that?
That's not the shot I saw of it.
I don't see it, but oh well.
That's pretty
If
funny.
I find a picture, I'll put it up in the show notes. But apparently, people are talking about it, so apparently it definitely happened. So, yeah, that stuff happens every once in a while. I mean, if you take a look at the Friends stuff.
Oh yeah, with the stand-ins.
Yeah, the stand-ins, like, because I don't know if they just didn't have enough time or money or didn't care or didn't notice when they redid them. They didn't crop them correctly
for the DVDs. Yeah.
So it's just you see all these people that aren't
Just standing off camera.
I'm just supposed to be the person. I'm what you're supposed to look at.
Yeah.
Line. Like, that's not Rachel. Not even wearing the same shirt.
It's got to be embarrassing, because for one, it's like Disney Plus has this reputation. Jon Favreau has this reputation. Like, for that to
it is super dark.
Yeah,
like
for that to drop into frame.
I can't even tell even from the picture with the arrow.
Let me see too. Yeah,
like
people
you have to like
being that anal.
Well, I think if you have like if you're watching on a 4K television, and you have like the true blacks and stuff, you'll be able to see it.
So if it's like OLED,
like because like I'm looking at on my iPhone that doesn't have like the best like black colored contrast or whatever, and stuff. So like you can kind of see it, and you're like looking really close and focusing on it, but. I've noticed like how sometimes you edit a photo or something in Photoshop and you like put a black background on it and then you look at it on a computer and you're like, oh, those are different shades of black,
Yeah,
I have a feeling it's probably something like that where like the different monitors or whatever. But
I remember when HD and Blu-ray came out, and our friends got like this giant HD TV, and it was about the time that Lord of the Rings also came out, like on DVDs. But they had used the DVDs on their giant HD TV.
Yeah,
and it's going from 720 to 8 and whatever.
DVDs aren't even 720.
They're not.
No, like that, like because I have a bunch of old DVDs and like I don't have anything to play them on anymore. So I have an old PC laptop that I ripped the videos off of to put into my iTunes, and like it's like 300 something.
No,
like, it is
because
so
480 is
low.
regular TV.
Maybe it's 480 then.
Yeah,
because it's so low.
and 720 is
maybe it's
but anyway,
420, man.
they.
Okay. Oh wait.
Thanks, Vince. But we would watch these videos and they are like, oh, I got on a brand new TV, and it looked like a freaking soap opera. Like and everything was odd and like jumping out from each other.
Oh, like
it's just like
refresh rate.
yeah, like it just didn't match up well. It's like this technology needs to come a little bit further.
Yeah.
It does say standard is usually 720 by 480, but because it varies between compression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something like.
I wonder, what they think though, if they're mad about that or if they're just like shit.
This is the one. So I had a DVD.
The coffee cup at the
Game of Thrones.
The Game of Thrones thing. I feel like that's way worse.
I feel like the fans
Starbucks
are the
cup.
ones that were really pissed about that.
I don't think anybody really genuinely cares.
So this is the resolution I saw when I forget what DVD it was I ripped. Something fairly old. So it must have been like one of. You know what it was? It was the Mario Brothers movie. Because I got it on DVD because you can't get it on streaming or anything,
Yeah.
So I went to go rip the DVD. to put in my like movie library, and it was 352 by 240.
Dang.
Which I know I remember having that DVD when I was in college and thinking this is the highest resolution it's ever going to get. You know,
They have a Blu-ray because I watched, wasn't it?
It's like
Cinemaskers.
it's like Japan. Or
Yeah, it's like
something
a
that.
Japanese Blu-ray though. You'll have to have like a Japanese Blu-ray player to play it.
Doesn't it play like 4 minutes faster because of the frame rate or
I
something?
don't know. Maybe.
Because of the PAL thing or whatever.
I don't know. But I watched on the Angry Video Game Nerd, or
Yeah, yeah.
Cinemasker rental reviews or whatever there.
I like their variation of shows now because before it was like I would just skip to every Angry Video Game Nerd episode, and now like they got the store sets
Yeah.
and stuff and the reviews. It's a good group of guys.
They're smart now. I mean, like they've been doing this for like 15, 16 years at least.
Probably.
And so, yeah, they definitely grown into that position a little bit more.
Absolutely. Fun stuff.
It's weird seeing them do sponsored ads.
Yeah, that's really
know?
weird at the beginning.
I get it, but like it because you're just used to like what 15 years of like just them being them, and then all of a sudden it's like today get NordVPN.
Well, they used to probably make a crap ton of money off of ads, and then now probably their ads probably because they curse and everything else so much.
Yeah.
They're not very friendly for regular ads.
They use a shit ton of like everything else. So like like all the content they post is previously copywritten. Like none of it's original IP. It's like the whole point of it. So it's just like a smattering of like everything.
Yeah.
And then they cover so much Nintendo stuff. Nintendo knocks everything anyway.
That's
so
true.
It's funny.
I love that show though. I mean, especially the Angry Video Game Nerd stuff. When I found that channel, I literally watched it for like a day and a half just because there's so many of them. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Because you watch it and you're 37 years old. You played all those video games. You went to those rental places. You rented those extra video games, and you went through like all those crappy video games because you're like, oh, new video game. I'm gonna rent this.
Yeah.
And like, this sucks awful. And then like he goes through all the reasons why it sucks. And like, I know I was there.
The Godzilla episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Well,
I had that exact
for the movies, right? Or
For the game.
the games.
The game. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the excuse me.
Bless you.
That was my exact experience as well. Bringing it home, like looking at the back of the thing and being like, "What the heck is this?"
Mm-hmm. It's like the
Looks
chess
like a
one,
chess
right? Yeah.
board, and then going home and realizing how cool the game was. Actually,
Yeah, the back definitely did not sell it.
oh,
Funny, I've been getting back into playing my PSP, and because I love those old like PlayStation style games, and I was playing the Family Guy game. That level I've been stuck on. I'm going to say for a year, but I haven't been playing it for a year. It's just like whenever I come back to it, I'm like, I can't get past this level. So I went to the Simpsons game, and the Family Guy game is actually pretty good with controls and stuff. The Simpsons game, that camera is out to get you. Like, it does not put you in the spot to see anything. You have to make these leaps of faith into like caverns and things. And I remember like, man, they could get away with this because this was 2007. And even though the internet was a thing then,
yeah.
it wasn't so widespread that like news of like problems and things like that could like spread
Travel
very
fast,
quickly
yeah.
and stuff. So like, I think now like the first hour of the game is out, that would have been addressed. I mean, like you can't control Bart, like the camera's rotating around him too quickly.
Yep.
You can't get through this level.
Which you'd think would be an awful PR thing, but to be honest, that probably helps them more than anything.
Oh yeah.
I guess it depends because like I know for me, like if I heard like this game has this awful problem that you can't get past this level, I just won't bother buying it. Like
But if it's still fun and you're just having this really annoying problem, they can literally go back into the game and you just re-download a new version, a new patch.
like a patch, yeah, they can patch it now. But at that time, since they couldn't patch stuff, like over Thanksgiving, I was looking at different Black Friday sales and stuff, and I was thinking about getting Assassin's Creed 3 remastered on Switch. I was like, that sounds like a great idea. Like, certainly it's like the system it was originally on was so many back that like it should be fine on Switch. And I started watching these reviews from like the first day, and they're like, they better put patches for this because it's unplayable and stuff. And that kept me from like making the purchase.
I feel like a lot of those remasters are like that. I mean,
don't
even
know.
when they redo the game, like completely, let's say like Secret of Mana, they're like, why on earth did they do this? Like all the good things that you had in that original NES game or Super Nintendo game is not in this super updated version. Like the reviews just hate it. So I mean, it's almost like they re-release these games like, hey, let's make a crap ton of money and then I'm out.
Like I know, like with the internet, I guess like with games, video games specifically, like the community, I guess, like there's a consensus of like being able to tell like if it's a mistake or if it's just difficult. Because I'm also playing this game called Slain, and it's so effing hard. But pretty much every review is like it's really difficult in that challenging, fun way,
Yeah.
where you keep playing it over and over to try to beat the level, and not there's a glitch and you can't get past it or annoyed, kind
Right.
of thing. And that's what I was looking for, and it's exactly what I thought it was from like reading the reviews into playing it. I'm like, that level's so hard, but I'm gonna keep trying it because I know there's a thing to it. The thing with Bart in Simpsons was I'm like, the camera
unplayable.
is inside, like in the back of his head when I'm trying to jump off this ledge where you have to have like this pristine, like accuracy and stuff. And I'm like, this is not fun anymore. So, like,
I get it.
I'm like looking for cheat codes and stuff. I'm like,
And I want to play that game too, Slain. Eventually, when it goes back on sale, I'll buy it.
so good.
I bought. I'm sure they don't listen, but my my nephew or my niece, they're all in the Stranger Things, so I bought them the Stranger Things season 3 game, which apparently everybody look. Have you played it?
I beat it in like a week. It's so fun. I loved it.
It looked really fun.
I don't know, but also that plays to my nostalgia. Like I remember it's a culmination of like 6 different video games from when I was a kid. A lot of tasks. So I don't know if they're into that.
I played it on the app when it was the app.
So the app I thought was really fun. That's why I bought the Switch version. The Switch version's like way more complex.
I got the stream version. She plays it on PC.
Same,
Nice.
yeah. So same game. But like, there's things like you run it like when you go to the pool and like one of the pool guards is like, go find the lady in the blue house and get a quarter from her or something like that. Like
What?
There's all these little like mini missions and stuff, and
okay.
it's puzzle solving the way that you have to figure out like what you need to do and where you need to go next, and it's not always like completely logical. Like it's game logic, but not like
Okay.
like real world logic or whatever. So like, trying to think, like there's one part of the game where there's a house you walk into, you go and you knock on one of the doors, the bedroom doors, and the person's like, I'm not coming out. I know there's things out there to get me. You have to bring back 12 gnome statues.
Wow.
And the gnome statues are hidden all throughout the game in every level.
Oh,
and so
gosh.
like, it's just a side mission you kind of have to keep in the back of your head, But I like crap like that.
Yeah.
So like,
As long as there's
That's
not
the fun part.
so much of that, like not if it's like 100% that.
I mean, it's pretty much all that.
It's all that. Oh gosh,
Like the
that
entire
would
game.
annoy me because I'll start writing it down. Like I remember.
It's
with
all
the
that.
gnomes.
It's all that. Plus, it also you should watch Stranger Things season 3 before playing the game because it basically runs through the entire plot of this 3rd season, like verbatim, like dialogue and everything. So it'll definitely spoil it
Okay.
if you haven't seen it yet. But I don't know.
I was thinking about
loved
getting it, but yeah, I mean, and now me and I will probably watch the last episode. Not tonight, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, it was also the upgrade for the Stranger Things 3 video game from the first one that was on the app was now each character has like a different power set.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
interesting.
cool. Like Lucas has like the slingshot, which I think he had in the first game, but this one you can play as 11, and she can do like the mind blowing thing and
Yeah.
stuff. And then Will
I think he has fireworks, right?
firecrackers.
Yeah, so it's-
That is the most versatile. Like as soon as I got Will, he was at the front of, because you get to have 2 characters you flip back and forth from.
Yeah.
I had Will in the front and 11 in the back, and Will's just like spraying fireworks all over everybody because it hits everything.
It's funny because I saw them playing it because they had the cast play the game, and Will's like, "Oh look, there's me, like,
Yeah.
in the what I'm normally dressed as," and they're like, "Oh wait, we actually get weapons or whatever." And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I get nothing in the movie or in the TV show." Like,
True.
so I
Yeah.
feel bad for Will because like I feel like he's sidelined in like the whole series, like
Yeah.
the first. In fact, the coolest part of Will is in the first season.
Yeah, when he's not there.
When he's not there, he's stuck in the upside down. The second season, I mean, I guess he's kind of there, but he's not really. He's just, it's almost like Hawkeye in the Avengers movie. Where like,
was the second season or the third season where he was basically the mind flare detector?
I think in the third season,
Okay.
yeah.
And
Well,
he
he's like-
faced him, and
He's
his
like,
dad
guys,
died
he's
or whatever,
here.
or his stepdad.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that's
was,
the
that was
second
second season.
season.
Man,
Spoilers.
wasn't that heartbreaking?
Yeah.
You're like, I like Sean.
Like, oh, come on, man. And like, he barely, like, he's basically like into that world for about 12 hours. He's like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, what's going on? Why am I here? There's monsters.
I guess he was supposed to be a much smaller role, but once it was cast as Sean Astin, they were like, we got to keep him as long as we can.
So weird. I mean, Steve was supposed to be like,
Yeah, like
annoying, like killed off, like,
was he
because
supposed-
he's supposed to be a jerky bad guy.
He's supposed to be season 1's Billy, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and
Like,
then they
yeah.
wrote Billy because they're like, we don't have that guy anymore.
Yeah, we need the jerky guy. Which then, like now in the third season, it's seen like I haven't seen the last episode, so I don't know if he's gonna die or not. But like, so but they've kind of like showed into his life a little bit, and so you kind of like know more like why he's such an a-hole. Like, you're like, oh no, I feel bad for Billy. I hope he doesn't die, I guess, but he's still a jerk.
Yeah. I think I was saying off recording was that I can't wait for Josh and Naomi to see this last episode because to me it was like so fulfilling. Like, we talk about like Hero season 1 ending. And I was like, man, that was like kind of a letdown because you expected this big battle.
Yeah, you did.
And like this one though is like you got the big battle, you got all the storyline stuff, you got like a sea of emotions, like a roller coaster and stuff. And you might even have to watch like the last bit of it a few times to like just kind of like absorb like all the things that are happening. But I don't know, it was such a worthwhile like finale. Like,
it was so much fun. The Star Court after that first episode where you see them all, like I was in.
But then I don't want to talk about too much more, so it doesn't spoil it for you. But like,
yes, please. We're like one episode out. I've already got spoiled about something. So
it's not. It's not necessarily a cliffhanger, but the way it ends is just kind of like, this might be the first time I have no idea where Stranger Things is going next season.
That's true, because I mean, like I felt like, especially for the second season, I felt like they'd do something different. They get away from like, the whole upside down thing and do something else. You remember the show Erie, Indiana?
Oh yeah,
to where like every week was something different, some other weird, crazy thing going on in Indiana. I don't know, for some odd reason we're from Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean, you're closer. You're from Kokomo though, right? So like, and that's like a weird, creepy town. In fact, I think Erie, Indiana is probably modeled after Kokomo.
Is it? I don't know,
because you got that whole like, there was supposedly like a weird noise that makes people sick in Kokomo, right?
Yeah. It sounds like it from that, but Kokomo's not that exciting. Like, I get why, because I always assumed that Hawkins, Indiana was like an homage to Erie, Indiana, but I don't know. I guess it makes sense though, because it's like, man, this is the small town that nothing's supposed to be happening in. Yeah. So like, I guess now that I think about it, like the government headquarters and stuff, that makes sense, because that was the thing in my town, Kokomo. There's like a hum from all the automotive factories that used to be out there that like made people sick and stuff. So maybe it was just some of those urban legends kind of like
all coming together.
Well, actually, the hum wasn't an urban legend, but like there was some stuff like that, like it was just, Kokomo was like a decent sized city, but I was born in Kokomo, like, and then for a few years lived in Kokomo. But then like when I went to high school and stuff, I was in a town called Greentown, which had 3,000 people in population. So I could totally see like, my godmother, Grandma Sue, she was like, if she woke me up one morning and was like, Rob, we got to go, the aliens are here, I'd be like, yep, that makes sense. That checks out. That checks out.
I was like, what's that dog show with the grandma, the grandpa, and the dog?
Courage. Yeah. Like, I kind of see it though, because like, it's one of those towns you're like, sure, yeah, that checks out here,
Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we're all over the place today, but I guess Gina Carano, who was gosh, I can't remember the name that she had in the last Mandalorian episode.
Kara.
She was also in Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah,
and she's been in a bunch of different things. She's an MMA fighter.
Yeah,
and
she killed it.
I thought a few years ago, because she dated Henry Cavill. I don't know if she's still dating Henry Cavill or whatever. But a few years ago, I was like, she's perfect for Wonder Woman. Like, if she can act, she'd be amazing for Wonder Woman. Obviously, did not happen. But it's weird because, like, apparently she thought that, and they've been so hush-hush about this whole darn thing, she thought she was going to be a female Chewbacca.
That's hilarious.
And they were like, yeah, guess what? No, you're going to have a real part in this show. Like, oh, good. Which I thought she did an amazing job. I mean,
yeah, same here.
I'm granted, they definitely played to her strengths. Where she was like the quiet giant instead of being the monologue giant, because it's just like, man, whenever you get like her or like Ronda Rousey, you're like, let's be careful with the dialogue, like
it's true, but like from everything I've seen from her though, she doesn't seem like she's bad at like delivering dialogue. Yeah. Even in the Deadpool movie, like,
I think just being careful now, so there's not a single misstep. Yeah, so that if she does have that hidden within her, there's no doubt beforehand.
Yeah,
she got a rouse out of me watching her in that episode.
I like the intro where they're like, how long she been in town. He's like, find out for me. Like, she flips the waitress a coin and then she like walks past and she's gone.
Every time she talked to the Mandalorian, she'd be like, and that's how it is. Like, she had this like air to her breath that just made me like,
I love how Baby Yoda with the bone broth became a meme.
Oh yeah, it's like the Kermit drinking tea meme now.
And it's perfect because I don't know if they did it on purpose, but like he ate the frog in the same episode. Or was it the same?
Well, he tried to in that episode.
Yeah.
The kids were laughing, so he took
But
it
like
out.
it was so funny. It was like, I wonder if that was a nod, like it couldn't have been because they couldn't have known that. I don't know. It's just weird. It's so serendipitous that it happened in the same episode.
There's an amazing meme where it's like, amount of Yoda memes that I've seen this week from this show is amazing, and I haven't even seen the show.
Yeah.
So it's just funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
People love them.
I guess
they're doing well.
I don't know enough about Star Wars like deep history, but I guess Yoda's a vegetarian
I did not know.
or vegan or something like that. I don't know what truth there is in that. So I read a headline for an article that I have saved but haven't read yet. That was something to the effect of like, does this kind of like reflect an evolution of like, you know what I mean? Like that, does that moment kind of define like he realizes, maybe we're just thinking too hard about this, but like maybe he realizes there's like a thing, like a living being in his mouth, you know, and he's like, and it kind of reflects like,
Well, he's already eaten a few frogs.
yeah, no, but they're saying that this moment when he sees all the kids reacting,
He's like, oh, is this bad
this is
now?
kind of messed up, like
Yeah. He's like, this is just food to me.
It's crazy though
Yeah.
because they continue with the blue krill, which is like is
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
crazy. I love Star Wars when they're like, oh, it's weird foods. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
look, no, this is weird blue krill, or I guess maybe not blue milk, maybe gross, but
And they said the krill haven't been in movies, but it's been in like shows or video games or something like that.
I don't know. I
Maybe
don't
in
play
books.
the video games.
They said it has been like mentioned and like seen in other things, but it's the first time it's appeared. Well, no, it's never been in a movie, but it keeps like making little reoccurrences and stuff. And then the vigilantes that kind of overtake the village. They're also from like another Star Wars thing.
He looked really similar to one of the dudes in the Clone Wars. I don't know well enough to know their names, but yeah,
I remember my brother had that character thing. Or no, not of that tribe. I didn't know where they were from.
the bounty guy or what?
In the new episode, right?
I love how they see the ATST like footprint, and then it just hard cuts like you're gonna have to move.
Exactly. Like,
And then she's
that's not
like
happening.
subtle. But it's one of those things where it's like you kind of understand, but at the same time, like because the villagers like, but our loved ones are buried here. It's like then move, man. Like I don't
Exactly.
know, like I'm
I
trying
don't
to
get that a little bit. Like, I mean, I guess for food wise, like, well, this is the only place we can survive in. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I get it's emotional, but at the same time, like you're not going to be here for much longer.
exactly. Like these guys, they have a Hulk.
It was pretty. That was where I gave Gina like what did I give her? I gave her a thumbs up, I guess. She really stole a show from me when she jumped into the pit and with the what did he call it? What they call a particle rifle?
Oh yeah, the
The thing where it just like explodes the person when it
just disintegrate. Go ahead and use that more often.
His weapon is a pulse rifle.
Yeah, it's pulse rifle.
She jumped down there and hit the thing with the pulse rifle. I was like, she's dope.
They also planted this little seed of like, what is the widow's backstory? That she was the only one that knew how to shoot.
Yeah, because she was killing the target.
They kind of like implied that like her husband was some sort of soldier, or she was a soldier with her husband, or something.
Yeah.
Because in the Star Wars universe, you don't know. There's not really like a gender line, for like roles, unless you're a fan. Like,
No, you got Leia. Like,
There was no gender in war.
Well, but was it the first three movies? I was like, Leia was like the only female in the galaxy.
Yeah, I guess.
Or something.
Or, well, you don't know because those monsters may be female.
Yeah. I just remember like when
Like Star Trek when he kicks
what
him
was it?
in the
Actually,
knee.
wasn't one of the original movies or one of the prequels where there was like a female like general or something that popped up, and I think it was in the original trilogy that it did happen once towards the end. And Family Guy, when they did their satire, part of that woman's monologue was like, and apparently I'm the only other female in the galaxy.
Oh, you're talking
like,
about Mothra.
Yeah.
The one with the white outfit.
It was so funny. I was like, I never noticed that. It's like Leia and everyone else, like.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Princess Amidala.
that was the sign of like the 70s, in the time.
Well,
and
it's also
everything.
kind of war in general, so.
But like they have kind of like revealed that there's like much more like happening. But I don't know. It was funny. But anyway, so like it's just saying the widow. You don't know if like she was a soldier, her husband was a soldier, or she was ever
Something like
married, or if she was part of an army, and then like if it's her, like if the kid changed things or what, like what what'll happen there.
One of my friends was talking about how this is probably one of the better shows out there right now, and it was Clint, my friend Clint, and he didn't realize, I guess, at the time that like most television shows, they're only like maybe a couple episodes at the most ahead of like when they're releasing.
Yeah.
Like, they're shooting and they're constantly rewriting and constantly,
especially sitcoms.
Yeah, sitcoms especially, or even like he talked about Lost, and I was like, that show, I'm sure they were like, all right, what are we doing today? To where things are changing all the time. But like in the Netflix world and in the Disney Plus world, these shows are shot from start to finish like it's a book. So they have time to go through and say, hey, this is the story we're gonna tell, as opposed to like, what are we gonna do in 2 weeks? What's the story? Who do people like in this series or whatever else? And it gives people time to, you might like a character that you didn't like before, or for them to develop. Like I feel like in regular TV, if you didn't like that character, it was kind of like the audience isn't polling well with this character. Let's just get rid of them. So,
you die in this.
Yeah, exactly.
You tanked last week, so bye.
So at the very least, with these kind of shows, like you get to see the whole thing before you can have any kind of opinion.
Oh, speaking of, I finished Silver Surfer.
Oh yeah,
on Disney Plus.
I started it the other day. By the way, I go with you.
It doesn't end.
Of course not.
But it looks like it's going to from the titles.
Oh,
like
it's going to be a cliffhanger.
So the first episode is like leaving Zenla, and then the last episode is Return to Zenla.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't return to Zenla.
It's like Spider-Man, the 92 Spider-Man show, which was an amazing show, by the way. It went 2 or 3 seasons at least. And they're like, let's go get Mary Jane. And like, we're going to go find her. Never finds Mary Jane.
That one to me, now that I've seen Silver Surfer, is more doable for me because like if you finish it right before they're like, let's go find Mary Jane, you're like, oh,
then you're fine.
He discovered Stan Lee and all this stuff, This one, they literally are just about to start the war. And then Thanos is like, I'm going to get you. And then Silver Surfer's like, can I hit him? And then it just to be continued. Oh, like, he didn't even start the thing. Like,
wow.
Like,
I didn't finish the Avengers United They Stand, partially because it just pains me so much to listen to it. But I imagine it's the same way.
But for the rest of it, I loved it. It was so melodramatic, and like I said, like where I like my dramas. Like
I was watching it because we talked about the CGI being meshed with the 2D animation. It works really well still.
Galactus is really cool that way.
Yeah.
Even though like it's still like a little bad like for CGI, it's because this is in the 90s.
Yeah, but the hard lines made it work.
Yeah, it pops out because he's a bigger than life presence. But But yeah, that was good.
I've been watching the entire history of Gundam, so I'm not even halfway through yet.
It's fun.
That's huge. Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot.
I'm scared to go down that rabbit hole. Like, it's the same thing with Doctor Who. Like, I get so involved, especially with the TV shows or whatever else that we get into. Like, I would just be gone, or I wouldn't watch my kids ever.
Yeah.
So, like, shut up! I'm still watching this.
I guess the good thing though is all the later stuff I've already watched.
Okay.
So I just have to get to about 65% into the timeline, and then the rest of it I've already seen.
Yeah, because I heard like Doctor Who's only like 4 to 6 episodes a season nowadays, right?
Yeah, but like there's a back catalog of
we're
30 years.
Yeah. Like 10 years ago, I used to work at Barnes and Noble, and like there was like sci-fi, romance, like action, comedy. Doctor Who, like was its own wall.
Yeah.
Like it literally, it was like shelves and shelves of just Doctor Who DVDs
amazing.
of different seasons,
and that people would buy them.
Yeah,
constantly.
Well, especially nerds like that, like Star Trek, Doctor Who, people that they'll have money to spend on stuff like that. They want to hold. I do too. I like holding on to the movies, even though you can stream them all now, or you can buy them in your streaming. I like having the DVD, Blu-ray, streaming capability. I just buy it and it sits on my shelf. So
I have Infinity War and Endgame like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you hear about the script being trying for the Rise of the Skywalker?
What's going on?
Rise of Skywalker. There was a script that showed up on eBay from the movie.
No way.
Yes.
A copy of the script?
100% true script.
Ooh.
And they nabbed it real quick.
How much did they buy it for?
I don't know. They said that they J.J. Abrams actually did an interview about it. He's quotes like, we bought it real quick. And I was like, well, the whole story was
They murdered somebody.
it was actually John Bodega had left it underneath his bed at a hotel he was staying at, and then forgot to get it. And so the cleaning crew came in, nabbed it and put it up on eBay. Now, I hope they didn't put that person in jail, and I hope that like they did actually buy it from them. Like just trying to be nice, like, hey, FYI, this is copyrighted material, and we could probably sue you a lot.
I mean, so I can't say for this script specifically because I haven't seen it, but most of the scripts I've seen come through Hollywood, especially major films and stuff, have a very clear disclaimer on the front, like,
If you find
this, you can't share it with anybody. So like, even if I think it would be justifiable if they like, if that was the case, there was that warning.
You wonder though, because there only has to be a few people with those scripts.
Yeah.
Because I mean, especially with Marvel and Disney knows like that crap gets out. This movie gets out, you're done. You know, I mean, people are still going to watch it, but you're not going to make anywhere. I don't know. You might still make money, but I don't know. You're gonna make people a lot of people pissed.
Yeah.
A lot of people. You're gonna change the public view of it at the very least.
Absolutely.
I had like a little brush with something like that in 2010, actually almost 10 years ago when I was touring. This is back when like there was like, you know, non-internet iPods, like it was the click wheel iPod and stuff. My iPod, because you know, we're in music, had like just regular music, but also like a lot of demos from like national recording artists that I just like either known through friends and stuff. And it like specifically a guy named Mark Broussard, like I had a bunch of his demos because we were friends, and there was a bunch of unfinished stuff that was going to be released and things. And then someone broke in my car, and the only thing they stole was an iPod. And I don't think it was the intentions of getting those demos because there's not, unless they knew me, there wasn't a way they knew that I was on there. I think they just saw an iPod in the car,
Of course.
and stole it. But then I was like, what do I do? And like that's all out there now, you know. And then now all of a sudden I was like, now I know how stuff gets leaked, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember, I forget, I don't know if it was Mark or somebody else telling me like, yeah, so just on the DL, like how this normally happens is you name it something else, and then you just have it on your thing and stuff. I was like, now I know. So
bathroom sounds.
Well, it has to be completely uninteresting. It can't be like, why is this on here? You know, it's just got to be like something else.
Barbara Streisand's third live album.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But that's kind of crazy
so
that
wild.
whole
That
thing
is
popped up
awesome.
and it didn't
Yeah.
get leaked.
That's so crazy.
If it was anyone normal, I feel like they'd be like, "This is what happened." Like it'd be like everywhere.
It'd be so funny if no one read anything either. Like,
I bet they read it. I bet 100%
You think they read
it?
it?
Oh yeah, but they probably came back when they put them on eBay and were like, "Guess what? You say a word of this to anybody, and we're gonna sue you into oblivion."
right?
Yeah.
They got like people watching them at their house.
Yeah,
right now.
maybe. Who knows? Well, maybe not at their house, but like they were
Or they-
probably like just watching their socials or something.
They anal probe them.
That's
yeah,
a
'cause-
lot of money to deal with.
Well, because like in
It is a lot of money to
in
anal
LA,
probe these days.
whenever we go to these early screenings and stuff, we have to sign NDAs, and we have to fill out our socials that we're not allowed to talk about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Or you get
always see that. Like, because do you see the thing about Pete Davidson, his stand-up show? Like, he made the entire audience sign NDAs for like $1 million like penalty if they spoke about the set.
Oh.
And nobody knows if it's part of like a stunt because people are talking about it now.
I can still describe it in interpretive dance.
No, he said if anybody figures out anything that happened in it and they found out, come back to you, like $1 million penalty, which is any NDA. Like I can't just like wink in Morse code to somebody and like expect, like
Or
like,
can you?
I get the outrage, but at the same time, like I guess if you're a comedian, and it's a scary time these days.
It's hard nowadays, yeah.
Because you don't know like what people are gonna.
But you're not gonna if you have
True,
to
though.
go in and you can't tell like their joke to someone else afterwards, like or joke about it in the car and for fear of being sued. That's not gonna last very long.
No, like I
No one's
feel
gonna
like
want to go if you're gonna get sued.
Well, part of the marketing is the what do you call the? I tell you, you tell your friend, that friend tells two other people. Like
I don't know. I guess it's trying something new at least. It's kind of like, was it Jack White or one of the modern rock stars? Like was like, you're not allowed to bring like a phone into the show or something, and that's similar like penalty, like you'll get kicked out or whatever. They just
Kicked
don't
out
want
is different from sued.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
$500 million.
Well, this is like, but that was in a time when there wasn't like sharing on the internet and all that stuff, as big, and so it's like it's just trying something. So like
they didn't watch Care Bears.
I admit though, like if I was gonna see like a comedian,
Yeah.
you telling me like, dude, you have to go see Pete Davidson's set. Like, I feel like I would enjoy the entire process more if I like in that and then went to the show instead of you telling me half the jokes and what you remember and then going to the show.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
kinda
that's
like
gonna fix
spoiling.
that, but like,
Yeah.
But like, okay, so I watch Rogan all the time, or Bill Burr's stuff, or some other people's stuff. Was it Burt Kreischer? Well, a bunch of those people that are great. I watch their podcasts every once in a while, and they talk about this kind of stuff. And I guess today it's like the best, like the industry's been in a long time. Like I guess for the last like 20 years it was really bad, and the last like 5 to 7 has been really good. And that's weird because I feel like you can get all that information. You can practically hear most of their set online.
Yeah, I guess it helps with them too because it helps like prove like people stealing jokes and things.
Yeah,
because I remember when when I was in high school, people were like, "That's still my joke," and like we have to figure out some proof. Like you have video of that night in the club. Now it's like, well, they told that joke a year ago online.
Yeah.
So
there's a bunch of comedians that got under fire for that crap, which I kind of I understand half of it sometimes because they're around each other all the time, and then they're like, "Oh, I got this great idea," but like in the back of their head, they might not be like thinking, "I got this idea from some like 20 million things I've seen before."
there was like a lot of
It's true though.
like late night shows. I think that problem happened with
happened.
And I think in my interpretation it was like you have a team of writers. Like, man, you imagine the last desk job you worked like when you were put to the grind, like take some shortcuts,
There was an episode of Rogan, I think, where he was talking about them having to kick out the writing team from like Seinfeld because they directly took stuff. They'd go down when they couldn't figure things out. They'd go down to the Comedy Store or some of those other places downtown, and they'd just go in and they'd steal little bits and they'd turn them into full, episodes.
Yeah.
And like they literally like saw their faces and were like, "Nope, you can't be here. Goodbye."
That happens in music too, because like there's a show that has been in Korea but is now getting popular in America called The Masked Singer. And there was an arrangement of, I can't remember what song it was, of some cover song, and there was a YouTube ban. They were like, they stole our arrangement. Normally I read those things in a clickbaity or whatever. There was enough of these that I finally saw it, so I finally like watched it. I'm like, they took their arrangement like straight up. It's a different genre, but like there are bass parts and like little like piano ornamentations to the point where I'm like, did they just take parts of the recording too? Like they use very intricate like rewritings of things. And then a number of years ago when Glee was in its heyday, they kind of ripped off Jonathan Colton's version of Baby Got Back.
Yeah.
Like note for note. And I guess in those cases they're probably doing it because they're like, well, we know we can get away with it because like what are they going to do? Like say it's not it's not our song. Like it's a cover song anyway.
It's a cover song anyway.
So it's a kind of like a gray area, but like there's no protection. There's not very much protection for arrangements unless like you got a good lawyer or something.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I'd be scared if you actually did have protections to that, because then you could just go. I mean, it's getting to this day. It's starting to get to more where you can just go after anybody. Like, oh, you sound like my style. Like,
oh yeah.
If you have enough money and enough pressure behind it.
But I guess like in this sense, it was like these are two instances that I wish there was something quantifiable about it, because you listen to like that as the you can tell that they just like watched the YouTube video and were like, let's just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy. I've definitely been a part of recording sessions that are like that. Like, hey, how about you just make a bass line like this bass line from this song? I'm like, oh, no. Don't get me involved.
I'm always the guy, like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like, especially lately, I've been in recording sessions and stuff. I mean, like, let's do something new. And they're like, well, that's really done that way. I'm like, that's why I want to try it. Like,
exactly.
Like, let's not do it like the 4,000 other times, like this year,
Speaking of something new, this new segue. Did you see that ET commercial?
No.
Yes. Got like a little bit upset that it was a commercial.
Yeah.
But God, that like hits me in the heartstrings.
Yeah, I was literally almost crying.
Jesus.
I was like, oh gosh.
I saw that it was the original kid with ET, but I didn't see
Is that
anything
his
else.
family too? Because it looks like it looks like his
really
kids.
close.
And
Like,
it's just
ET's like Elliot, and it's like the little kid, and he
Yeah,
like rushes out, and you're like, oh my gosh.
and then they like
back.
play in the snow. Like yeah, God.
It's a freaking like Comcast commercial. or
I will
something.
say though,
It's hilarious.
They didn't play up the commercial part as much as I thought they would. So that was good. It was like they were
got you
scrolling
hooked first.
They were scrolling through an iPad for shows, and I think that was maybe the extent of it. Besides the logo at the end.
So it's an ET short film.
Kind of.
Or short.
It's like
5
2.5
minutes,
minutes. It's like 2.5, 3 minutes.
I'll have to
like
watch it.
Yeah, let's see here. It is 4 minutes and
4
18
minutes, wow.
seconds. Dang. I mean, that's pretty darn long.
Yeah. It
It's
didn't seem
great,
that long
though.
I was
I mean-
watching. They do all the Hallmark moments from the original ET movie, but with Elliot's kids. And like,
Interesting.
they just played it up. I haven't seen that kid in a while.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's been acting or anything.
Edit out.
But man,
That's what. Yeah, what's his name? IMDb.
Who, Elliot?
T. Yeah, who is it? What's his real name here?
Thomas.
Let's see. Has he done anything I've ever seen? I bet he's in a bunch of stuff that I just never even noticed. They definitely didn't have Drew Barrymore in the commercial. I'll tell you that.
Henry Thomas.
Look, like when you pop it up IMDb, look at the thing on the side.
Oh, there it is.
For a second, I thought he was giving me the finger.
It's true.
And then I realized he is giving me the finger.
He was in Legends of the Fall. He's in the old Cloak and Dagger.
But not like Cloak and Dagger Marvel,
Cloak and
yeah.
Dagger. I remember seeing it for the first time and being like, oh, Cloak and Dagger. And they're like, no, it's not that one.
Oh, wait. He's lead in Haunting of Hill House. That was a big series. That's cool.
Crazy.
Oh, he's in Doctor Sleep? Okay, so he's doing a good amount of stuff.
Yeah.
I want to see Doctor Sleep some point in time.
Sons of Liberty.
Oh, he was in The Mentalist? Oh, so he's been doing like a lot of like bit parts in Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like he's had a pretty just little good run. Sorry.
Wait, Nightmares
career.
and Dreamscapes.
Yeah.
Oh, Stories of Stephen King. Okay, I thought it was another series.
Yeah, it just keeps going. I mean,
Eternal
he's never
Sunshine
really
of the
stopped.
Spotless Mind? No, just
Was he in
playing.
there?
No, I'm just playing.
Sorry. You're yelling at me over
I
there.
know. Well, it was one of my favorite movies. I just wanted people to know that.
That's crazy. Yeah, he doesn't. He just kept acting. Yeah, I guess I've just never noticed him. But anyway,
He just keeps
good
on
for
acting.
him. That was a great show though. I was got teared up.
I was like, don't ever want to feel emotional about a commercial again.
E.T.
Dang you, Xfinity or whatever it is.
He looks good too for being 50 years old.
Did you watch Ultraman when you were little?
Yes, I did.
I had the Korean action figures.
Yeah.
That were different
I
colors.
watched the Netflix
even though
one,
they
too.
weren't.
Was the Netflix one good?
It was cool.
It looked really weird.
I had the multicolored action figures, even though they weren't multicolored for the
Right.
show. It was awesome.
You get the pack that has
Yeah.
like,
I think it's a completely different
6
story
colors.
in Asia too.
yeah.
Apparently, because I had watched a thing the other day about it, like the dubs that they had made for, I guess it was just close captioning or whatever for America, or maybe it was dubs. Whatever they did, they changed the story.
Oh yeah.
along the line, but that's become like the actual story. So it's just funny. I remember seeing it, but I don't even remember where I would watch it at. I remember whenever it was on, I would be like, I'm watching as much as this as they're going to show me.
In America, I think it showed on stuff like Nick at Night or something, or
I don't think it was Nick at Night because it was at my grandparents'
was it
house.
Sci-Fi Channel or something?
They didn't have cable.
I just remember my brother and my dad screaming all the catchphrases of Ultraman.
Yeah.
And they'd always do the stances and the whatever it was, the gem around his neck to make him turn into Ultraman. All
Oh,
that.
like that stick or whatever.
Yeah.
The little pressing. It was really funny because one time he had like a spoon and he's like, huh. And he look at the spoon, like, oh, crap. Hold on, let me get the right thing. And,
I actually had one of the probably, the size of a 2-liter Ultraman.
I just remember like seeing, like I could never find it. Like, with Spider-Man or something else, you could find it in America, but like it was on TV all the time. But like I couldn't find what channel. Maybe it was on like channel 50 in Chicago. That was like a UPN channel or something,
Right.
like one of those UHF channels where they kind of normally just played reruns of things.
You get like 6 channels, and that's one of them.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I remember loving that show and watching it, and then just never seeing it ever again. But
Plus Ultra.
apparently they're coming to Marvel.
That.
So Marvel Comics.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Comics. So that'll be really cool. Yeah. Plus the Netflix Ultraman was a definite departure from the normal as well.
Well, he talked, so like he didn't talk in the other ones.
Right. This is like in this one, when he turns into Ultraman, there is no talking or anything. But in the show on Netflix, it's like a mobile suit that they're wearing.
Yeah.
And it's not quite up to spec of like Iron Man's like the nanobot technology, but it's really freaking close.
Okay.
And there's multiple Ultramen, and they're like a team,
Yeah.
and they're destroying bad guys. And
It looked cool. I didn't even
the
know
bad
they had
guys
it on
have
there.
like Ultraman powers, stuff like that.
Until I did some research for this Marvel thing. I was like, oh, wait a minute. What? They have a Netflix version? I got to watch this now.
It's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of like anime unnecessary drama that you just have to like get through,
Unnecessary trauma. I love when like girls on anime, like when they're, something's wrong, they'll just scream. Like, holy crap. Like,
I don't do well with the mood shifts.
no,
like
like
that.
the moods
Like,
just go
like
crazy back and forth.
any anime, whatever emotion it is, it's times 10. So if the scene, one person gets angry, they don't just get angry, they get real angry. If it's like, okay, they
need to
start
let you
crying,
know they're
they
angry.
like really cry. Yeah, there is no like par for the course in emotions in anime, and usually it's like drawn out a little too long.
Oh, dang.
But it's fun. I love it so much.
I guess they're doing a Spawn.
No.
I mean, like, for a while they've been doing a Spawn TV show.
I want Spawn to come back so bad, man.
Well, Todd McFarlane, I thought he'd already started shooting it.
I want to Spawn new cartoon. Like, I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
It would probably have to be rated R though, or something, because Spawn like kills stuff.
Well, apparently he wants to do one that's rated R. But like I said, I thought it was already sold. Apparently, he hasn't even sold it to like a company yet. So now he's kicking around the idea of like just doing it all himself and then trying to sell to someone.
I heard rumors of that because once again, Cinemassacre did a thing about it.
Yeah.
And they did two things. They did the video games and then the movie. And I was like, man, I had forgotten how bad the movie was.
Yeah.
I loved that movie back when it came out.
It was good, but you could tell that there was a point they just ran out of budget and they couldn't do anything else. And it was like the worst CG Satan ever.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, man, it just could have been like a drawing on a popsicle stick.
Yeah.
Done the same thing.
It won. It was really weird because it also won some awards for special effects. You know that?
Because there were some like things in it
like
that
his
were
cape
cool.
looked real cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even when one of the bad guys came out of the fireplace, the CG there was ridiculous.
But it is a ridiculous movie. You watch it and you're like,
Oh, it's crazy.
it's
Well, the
crazy.
guys at Cinemassacre pointed out, because I didn't read the comics, but they were like, Spawn doesn't really spend that much time in hell. Like, why did they take him to hell in the first movie?
Yeah.
You know, like, he's just come up on Earth and then give his a story, and then we just move on. Like,
I don't remember. Did they have like the power meter in the movie?
I think they mentioned something about if you use it up, then
Yeah, I know
you go
they-
back to hell. I don't
Yeah.
think they visually showed it or anything like that.
That's crazy.
But that's why he used guns to save his power.
Yeah. So apparently the one that they were wanting to do, the Todd McFarlane wants to be a little more gritty, more down to earth, rather than him like being, using all the powers or whatever, which would be great for like a Netflix show. I was never really into Spawn in that much though, because, as a Christian, it was kind of like creepy. You're like,
I loved it.
Exactly.
Loved
I
it.
don't know if I should be watching this.
I had a lot of
He made a
toys.
deal with the devil.
Yeah. I was never old enough to like get like the shows on like VHS or anything by myself. And obviously my parents wouldn't get it for me, but I remember it being in pop culture and I really like dug the art style and everything. Like I love the
sick.
burning glowing green eyes.
Yeah,
and stuff.
it definitely looked way cool. Like
Then-
all those, and they had all those creatures and all those stuff that you could buy way back in the action figure
Oh my
days.
gosh, so great. What was, I forget what it was, but there was one of the first games, it might have been Sega Genesis, where Spawn showed up on a video game. I'm trying to think of what that was.
I don't know, but I know that Angry Video Game Nerd went through a bunch
There
of
was a
them the other
bunch
day.
of games, yeah.
I remember that most of them were pretty awful.
But there's like a fighter one that was pretty good that you like towards the end.
Yeah.
It's weird
there-
because that one was that was an arcade game, and I
Okay.
played that arcade game, and it was awful. But maybe the port or whatever that he had,
Yeah.
like that they put on, I don't know, it was GameCube or wherever he had it on.
Yeah.
It looked like it was fun.
Yeah.
But like I played that exact same version that he played it on the arcade like 6 months ago, and it was awful. I couldn't. The controls were awful, and it was just
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I forget which one it was.
I don't think it was on NES. I know they started doing them on Super Nintendo though.
Super Nintendo? Yeah, because I said Sega, so if Super Nintendo
They
would
might
make
have had
sense.
a Sega one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that he gets. I hope he gets a show because
I would love to see
I love
Spawn.
Todd McFarlane because he's just he's an amazing artist. He's one of those dudes that like he started out the bottom and now he's here.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So like he has his own like him and a bunch of other dudes created Image and he's just done amazing things. So
Yeah.
I wonder
I
if
hope
he's a
so, dude.
relative of Seth.
you never know because apparently Joe Rogan's related to Gerard Way. So
That's fun.
Interesting.
it's like, oh, he's my cousin. I've never met him, but I was like, how'd you not ever meet your cousin, especially since he's huge? Like, what the
Yeah.
heck, dude? Last thing that we didn't get last week. Let's see. I remember Zachary Levi saying that he's not going to fight Black Adam for a few movies, apparently.
Okay.
But they started talking about the Black Adam movie that
That's
Dwayne The Rock Johnson's in.
Uh-huh.
And that's apparently it's going to have the Justice Society of America, which is like the
Whoa.
Justice League way back in the day.
Like the 60s
Sure.
or something,
Yeah.
right?
And so I'm like, okay, I don't know how well this is gonna.
I've totally
translate.
tapped out of DC films.
I love the Shazam movie though. I mean, like especially, probably more just because it was Zachary Levi in it.
Yeah, like actually, it's funny because that didn't even register as like a DC film for me because it was so different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And also, it clearly is not part of the universe. But like anytime they're like, we're gonna have this group again, I was like, okay, sure, whatever. Let's just see how it is.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know when they're gonna start filming of it though. Like, I don't like the idea of making. I know that The Rock is like a huge presence, and he's wanted to do this movie for like 10 years plus, and so he's great for the bad guy. He's great for Black Adam. I don't think that he should get his own movie. I mean, like, I love The Rock.
Yeah. I guess he could sell it, though, with his name alone, so I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just because it's The Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Fun.
Huh, yeah, it's interesting. I wonder how many films Zachary signed on for.
It's probably at least 3. You got to have at least 3. Maybe more than that if they're thinking about more like Justice League stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Doubtful, though.
See, yeah, it's so hard to predict what DC is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's this thing. There's Zach
Joker.
saying like 3 movies. It's going to be Black Adam. Like
They're going to do another Aquaman? Another obviously Wonder Woman?
They're definitely doing Aquaman. Yeah, and Wonder Woman's coming
So
out.
weird, though. Like, are they going to...
I have no idea.
They're not going to be tied in.
Yeah.
Cavill said that he still wants to be Superman.
I
Even
heard-
like last week.
What
or
did I
something.
just see? Cavill got he's
The Witcher.
Yeah, The
Yeah, he's
Witcher.
The Witcher.
It looks amazing.
It does look good.
I haven't seen the
It
trailer.
looks good all the time.
Just the, like the little bits I've seen, the stills I've seen from the show looks really cool.
Especially that mustache.
Oh, gosh. But I don't know.
Well, we
The
got a lot
Rock
of
is funny because, like, you know, we were talking about Gina Carano earlier. Like, I feel like in the wrestling,
fully.
it could be like a John Cena or Hulk Hogan or, you know, The Rock, and like there's acting that's involved in that.
Yeah.
Like, but when we were talking about Gina and Ronda Rousey or whatever, there's not a lot of acting that's involved in MMA. So you're a huge person. The only person that I could think that maybe could pull off some acting might be what's the Irish dude?
Oh,
Connor.
Oh,
Like, he's just such a crazy presence. Maybe he could, but like, there's no way like for women to do that right now. There's no like women. I mean, there's women in wrestling, but I don't think there's like women wrestlers. Like, there's not an association for that, right?
I don't know anything about wrestling nowadays.
I mean, there used to
There's
be
a
women
ton of-
in wrestling, but it was
Yeah.
more.
there's the divas.
Yeah.
All the divas wrestle. I mean, that's a huge thing now.
But
is
it
the
just didn't
female
get to
wrestlers.
But it just didn't get to a point of like The Rock.
He's a restroom.
Sure, go for it. Hold on. No worries. Sorry.
Trying to hold out.
But yeah, it was like, I don't know, like, it's just an easier way for like for wrestlers, I feel like, to join into the movies rather than like MMA fighters.
Well, it's funny too because with Gina in Deadpool, you know, she got a couple of lines, and then what was her action? One of her boobs fall out or whatever.
What?
So, and Cyclops is like, oh, or not? Yeah,
Colossus?
Colossus is like, oh,
yeah,
no.
okay, I remember.
So you know,
He's like
she's
trying to
getting
be
roles.
a nice guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh,
She's-
sorry.
And then seeing her in Mandalorian, like she actually can deliver some lines.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see. Like she's got some chops. So I hope to see more of her.
Yeah.
And I like her deal. You know, she's an athlete. I wonder if she's in LA. No,
Hope she's not dating Henry Cavill anymore.
I know, right? I'm no Superman, so
Hey. I write music.
it's just like, you know, with the Marvel thing and Disney Plus and all that, like there's a direction that they're showing the people. You know, I'm kind of comfortable knowing like, okay, Black Widow is going to come out, and then this, you know, they're telling us these other things are coming out, and I know that DC's doing the same thing. Like they're letting people know. It's just there's no like, I feel very uneasy about the track they're on.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird.
I mean, they're trying to do stuff like the DC universe. Like, I haven't watched it. I guess there's a Harley Quinn cartoon now. It just came out this week, so I'm probably gonna check that out. You know, the Titans thing just turned me off completely. I was not a fan of that.
They killed the cartoon stuff.
I saw
though.
some stuff with Batman. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's like an Adam West-esque Batman in this new Titans
What?
show, and he's like, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean,
You're like,
that
okay, wait,
even sounds
you're obviously not Batman anymore. It's just it's just
like-
weird to me.
like a comedy relief or something.
Well, he's not comedy, but he looks like Adam West, 100%,
weird.
and he talks a little bit like Adam West, and it looks like he's not.
Is it
Batman
like a Powerpuffs type deal looking bat? Or
No, he looks
show,
like
or?
just Adam. No, it's Titans. No, it's a live action show.
Oh, it's a live action.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
live action Titans.
I thought that was a cartoon we were talking about.
No, like not the Teen Titans Go one.
Oh
That's,
my
that's
gosh!
funny,
So this is
but-
all live action.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's,
it's all
it's
live
an
action.
Adam West looking Batman.
Yeah, and he's.
Holy
It looks,
crap.
I watched that whole like. He was talking to Dick and going over a bunch of stuff with him, and it's just weird. It's just odd. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I don't know. Stuff like that, like, I don't want to see recreated because of how iconic Adam West became as Batman and everything.
I don't know if they
that,
even tried to do it like that. I feel like it just came out that way.
Like an accident. Yeah, I don't know if I'd approve or not approve. I don't know if I'd like stick around to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people got ticked off at first because.
Well, is that you saying that's aired now or no?
Yeah, it's in their second season now.
Well, where do I go to watch that?
That's the DC universe.
Okay, so you have to go to the app.
You have to go to the app.
And you need a membership for
I think I've shared the membership with you guys. Because like I accidentally bought it last year.
Right. Yeah.
But
that's right. Yeah, I'll have to check those out.
Weird. I wonder how many people are actually watching that.
There's so many good
you have
DC
to buy
movies.
like the app for it. It's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Like how many people are out there that's actually going to watch a DC universe?
I mean, just in general, thinking about where you have to pay in to watch these shows now, like that seems to be the model anyway.
Yeah.
Like, which I don't like at all. Like Rick and Morty being like on HBO or whatever it is now.
Yeah, everything's kind of like trying to find their own spot. Which they joke about like, oh hey, piracy hat, dust it off and put it back on.
They're like poaching shows.
But the thing is, like, I'm not going to watch more than one at a time, so I'm definitely not going to purchase more than one at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe someone that has a lot more money than me will do that.
It's just tough to like subscribe to something I'm only in for one show.
Yeah. That's true. So, I mean, like I have Hulu, but only because I have Spotify.
Yeah.
And you can get a free Hulu with that. Also, you can get that with like a lot of different things. I definitely bought Disney Plus right now, but I don't think I'm going to keep it forever.
No.
Like, I'll just catch up on the stuff that I want to catch up on when I need to. And Netflix, I feel like I'm going to get rid of that for a little while soon here.
Yeah.
Really caught up on everything. After Stranger Things, I've caught up on everything for a while.
I'm almost all caught up on Netflix to the point of where I'm waiting for new shows now.
Mm-hmm.
Hulu, there's still shows airing that I'm waiting like weekly for them to come out with new episodes.
Yeah.
But I don't see me keeping Netflix very much longer.
That might be a smart thing with Disney Plus, though. I mean, if they like have the Mandalorian stuff and they release it one a week, what if after 2 or 3 months of it being fully released, they say, hey, guess what? This is going back into the Disney Vault. That might be, I mean, like their stupid Disney Vault thing. That might be the only reason why people would hang on forever.
True. No, that's a good point.
Because I mean, like, they don't have every single Disney movie on there, partially because of contractual stuff, but
a lot of license tie-ups.
Yeah.
Licensing tie-ups.
But what are they going to do if they do put everything on there eventually? And then, you've seen everything so much. You're like, well, I don't really need to watch this,
Yeah, which brings me my thought to another idea of what if this bottlenecks them in the future? Like, what if it ends up Disney Plus being like the downfall of Disney? I know that's probably no one's thinking that right now. Or maybe people are thinking that. That's just an interesting perspective that hasn't been talked about yet here.
I wonder, though, because say... we bought probably 4 Disney movies a year, maybe 5, because of either, some Frozen-esque type movie and all the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, 20 times 5. So it's like $100 a year. So if I'm paying $7 every month, that's about the same. So if people in America just did the same thing, I mean, I guess they'd probably be making, plus they don't have to create anything. Not to make any DVDs or whatever thing. And they will, but
yeah. In general, I see the appeal to like all the parents because especially like you had mentioned earlier, we're all in our like mid 30s now, and all our kids, we want them to see what we saw when we grew up. Mm-hmm. So Disney Plus is a perfect opportunity for all of that, and so I get that. I just wonder if somehow this is like bottlenecking them more than opening the bandwidth. You know what I mean?
I think they'd lose more money than they make. I don't know. You figure
because they've already made
do
money
it if they didn't, because they're not making money.
they've been making money on all this content,
yeah.
Regardless of if it's on an app or not. So really, what we're talking about here needs to be flushed out completely, like thought out to really understand like what the downfalls could be. You know.
They probably saw everything that they could do on Netflix, and they're like, guess what? I think we can do it better. And so They're definitely a Netflix, what
Crazy.
they call a Netflix killer.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a crazy battle of things that all accumulated very quickly.
yeah. I mean, Hulu, I feel like is going to just either be absorbed or it's just going to go down. I never liked Hulu in the first place.
Yeah,
But
see, because of my anime fandom.
was that where most of it is at?
Well, it's a good amount of stuff, yeah, and especially with like the newer shows, the My Hero Academia and Sword Art Online, Alization, all those like brand new shows that are still being aired, or not being aired, being trickled in. Like they're releasing one a week. Even Boruto, which is like the next generation Naruto, Shippuden, and all that. It's keeping me there, man. It's keeping me in on Hulu. I mean, I can grab all that stuff on Crunchyroll or something like that, you know. But I like to be able to watch both, actually, like subbed and dubbed versions.
Yeah.
Because you do get more storyline when you watch both. I know it's a lot longer of a process, but still, if you like that stuff.
I know we talk about Usagi Yojimbo every once in a while.
Yeah,
I
dude.
picked up the last I
heard
was
about
missing like
this.
3 or 4 issues of this year's. Like I was trying to, go. It's hard for me to. Hold on a second. It's hard for me to kind of stay with a comic or whatever because I got to be in there like once every 3 or 4 weeks to keep up with it.
Yeah.
And it's just hard for me to do that. And if you don't get there in the first week, sometimes you just don't get them, especially these. So I finally ordered them on. I ordered some of the ones online that I didn't pick up on from my favorite comic book shop, and so I caught up with them. I love Stan. I think it's Stan Sakai. I think is his name, and I just love what he does with those comics because, like, they're all in feudal Japan.
Yeah.
And so every single comic, you learn something new about feudal Japan.
Oh,
and so
okay.
and he actually at the back of it will explain it. So it's like it's very,
On the flapper.
it's really weird, like because. I wouldn't call it maybe good for kids necessarily because there is some like somewhat it's not very violent looking because people die, but like there's still like adult-ish content in it. Like the last one I read was the guy was jealous of his wife because she wrote poems. She was really well known for that, and he wasn't a very good samurai, and so he like beat her and she dies.
Gosh.
And then he takes his own life.
Jeez.
So like, but it's very like the cartoon drawn. It's not very like
Violent.
looking.
Yeah.
Like even when people die, like they're on the ground and there's like a little fake ghost above their head. And that's how you know when they're dead.
You're
So
right.
it's like, I don't know. It's
He just commits seppuku. And
Exactly.
Little ghosts above him.
and so I don't know. It's a great comic.
My brother, he loves Yojimbo from the Kurosawa films. Yojimbo, and he loves the turtles as well.
Yeah.
And Usagi,
It crosses over with the turtles all the time.
and they fight each other. And then just like Usagi Yojimbo is a very like a symbol of samurai and Japanese culture, and I'm like we're all huge into the Japanese culture in my family. But the Yojimbo himself, like or Usagi himself, like I haven't read any of the series at all. The only things I've seen is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
That
stuff.
he's in, yeah.
So I am like pumped to read some of these comics, man. Especially because you showed me 2 that you had already, and then did you buy more? You said.
Oh yeah. I'm caught up now. I think it's a 7 for this
So you
year.
have all of them.
Yeah, for 7 this year. Yeah.
Crazy.
But there's so much more. In fact, I on my Amazon wish list is like I think this giant set for the last like I think it's been around 25 years or so. So
I should just get a huge graphic novel that has like most of them in it.
yeah, I mean they started off kind of like the Ninja Turtles with like black and white. So
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. I love all the art though. Yeah, on Instagram I'll be going around or
you should follow him. Like he does stuff like every week, like Stan Sakai or whatever his name.
So yeah, if anyone follows me on Instagram, it's all I post is bunch of stuff like that.
Nerd stuff.
Yep.
Well, guys, we should probably wrap up. We've been around forever.
Yeah.
Just random talking. It was fun.
This was a Harry Potter and pizza episode.
Serious. If you guys enjoy us doing this, definitely please subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Podbean or wherever you listen to that you can leave a review. We definitely look at them all. Shane Trevino is one of added and followed us on Podbean, and I think he asked us a question last week. So maybe before we go, we should answer his question. Yeah. But I really I appreciate you guys because like it's really hard for me to keep up with this and with music and everything else that we do. So if you guys could definitely show that you enjoy this, it definitely keeps me wanting to do this every single week because I love hanging out with Rod and Vince, but doing the podcast, it kind of takes up some time.
Yeah. We're doing pretty good on Podbean too.
Oh, Shane asked, did you guys like the Bumblebee movie? I know we talked about it before, but go ahead. I didn't see it. You know, you guys saw it.
I haven't liked the Transformers movie as much since the first Transformers movie is in the Bumblebee movie. Mm-hmm. So I really liked it. I'm assuming Shane has seen it. I can't read it from the question, but so I don't want to spoil too much. But if you haven't seen it, but I can't tell from the end. I guess it just retconned the original movies.
Yeah, because they're like waiting at the end. He's like still waiting for the.
Yeah, maybe don't tell the end of the movie when we.
It's been out a while.
Yeah, I mean, he's even asking us our opinion.
Yeah, well, I just said like I don't want to spoil it. But like, Haley Steinfeld's awesome in it. She's a great, like youthful, presence in it, and the whole like romance and everything doesn't go the way that you think it's going. It's a whole thing. Like it's not like totally original, but I thought it was like really fun and like nostalgic, and it felt true, Mm-hmm. So.
How you like it, Vince? I didn't see it.
I thought it was pretty good. It was like Rod said, a lot of the stuff was just like new ideas for Transformers, and I think Haley held her own in a lot of aspects. It kind of made the role her role like more of a stronger woman type than like a previously portrayed Megan Fox, where like I know it wasn't her doing, but she was directed to be very sexy and everything else. That wasn't the case in this new movie with Haley. Like she definitely held her own even to the very end of the movie. And it wasn't much of like a Transformers movie that you would expect. It did have a lot of like Bumblebee and stuff, but it wasn't the crazy bombastic things that we're used to with like the Michael Bay type deal.
Well, supposedly it was still produced by him, right? I know it wasn't directed by him, but I know the Bay thing it's just annoyed me so much, and like I wanted to see this movie because it looked good, and also he's a Beetle.
Yeah, it was really good.
Not the Camaro.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely that the portion of the first Transformers movie where it was about Shia LaBeouf getting his first car. Mm-hmm. It was like that. Just that part of that movie is what Bumblebee was. So it was like there was obviously there was action and stuff, but like the parts I remember the most are like the story.
Yeah,
and so it dialed back the bombastic action, like Vince said, but also like really expanded on like this girl getting her first car.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, like that sounds like something I would want to watch. In fact, I probably will at some point in time. But I don't know, just
if you kind of mash up the story of a girl getting a puppy and her first car into the same thing, that's kind of what it is.
Very nice. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging along with us. Like I said, please subscribe and leave a review. If you guys comment on Podbean, we'll definitely talk about it. We'll read it out loud here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You guys want to say anything before I go? Before I cough?
No, just make sure you check us out every Wednesday on Podbean or on YouTube, wherever you guys listen to us. And welcome all you new listeners. Peace out.